A few days ago, I mentioned Angela Merkel's interesting choice of music for her official send-off, and in that video I made a flippant comment about how there are some things that brass bands should never attempt. I didn't expect that comment to generate quite so many responses. So let me just say that while the performance was technically fine, I still don't think that it captured the spirit of the original. But this gives me the perfect excuse to talk a little bit more about the song and the singer. Nina Hagen was born in 1955 in East Berlin, the daughter of an actress and a screenwriter. She had hoped to follow in her mother's footsteps, but was barred entry to acting school, probably because by this time her parents were divorced and her mother was in a relationship with the famous dissident Wolf Biermann. Instead, she turned to music and became a state-approved Schlager singer. Schlager is a style of music popular in this part of Europe which combines elements of pop and folk, usually with simple rhythms, melodies and lyrics. And yes, I did say state-approved. This was East Germany and the authorities controlled everything. In 1974, at the age of 19, she was discovered and hired by a band called Automobil, and their first single together was the piece chosen by Merkel. Its title? Du hast den Farbfilm vergessen. The music was composed by band member Michael Heubach as a parody of Schlager. In interviews, both he and Hagen have said that the original lyrics written for the music by another band member, Kurt Demmler, were just too boring. Demmler's second attempt had a note of humour and irony that the band liked much better. The song is about a young woman who is angry with her boyfriend because he's forgotten to bring the colour film on their trip, so all of their photographs are in black and white. This angers her so much that she actually threatens to leave him if he does it again.
Du darfst noch einmal, Micha und ich gehen. Du hast den Farbfilm vergessen, mein Michael.
In the song, the boyfriend is named Michael, or Micha for short, and in fact, at the time, Nina Hagen and Michael Heubach were in a relationship together. But according to Heubach, the rest of the story is a complete fiction. By all accounts, the band didn't expect this to be a hit. They had recorded a rock song at about the same time, but the state broadcaster preferred the Schlager, and it was a huge hit. But according to Heubach, audiences didn't understand that it was a parody. But it seems that audiences did detect a subtext. Whether it was deliberately written into the song or not, I don't know. But colour film was in short supply in East Germany. The reason Nina is so upset with her Micha is that they've gone to all the trouble to buy some colour film and he's left it at home and they can't hope to buy any on their trip. So it was seen as a commentary on the constant shortages that plagued the country, as well as just generally the drab and colourless life behind the Iron Curtain. Still, the band was invited on a tour of the camera film factory, but if this was intended as a damage limitation exercise, it spectacularly backfired as Nina Hagen got wind of the poor pay and conditions of the workers there and protested very loudly. In 1976, Hagen's de facto stepfather Wolf Biermann was expelled from East Germany. Hagen spoke up in his defence and as a result was stripped of her citizenship and also forced to leave the country. She then spent some time in the UK where she got involved in the punk scene, and I think it's fair to say that she came to West Germany a reformed character. And by the way, while a lot of you disagreed with my comments about brass bands, nobody seems to have noticed my mistake in describing Nina Hagen as the Queen of Punk. She is of course known as the godmother of punk. And she was a pioneer of German punk, or to be more precise, Neue Deutsche Welle. Her influence on the German music scene has certainly been very impressive, but so has her ability to get into the headlines for some of the most bizarre reasons. She holds some views widely regarded as unorthodox. She named her daughter Cosma Shiva. Shiva after the Hindu deity, and Cosma because when she was pregnant with her, she had an encounter with aliens. For the record, Cosma Shiva Hagen is an actor and, among other things, was the voice of Mulan in the German dub of the original animated movie. Nina Hagen, though, has a distinct personality that sometimes gets her into trouble, just as it used to in East Germany. When one journalist commented that she was esoterically a bit nuts, Hagen went on the record to call her a fat woman and a stupid cow. And at this point I should say that she has denied being an anti-vaxxer. Apparently there's a fake Telegram account that uses her name to spread anti-vax propaganda, and she and her lawyer have been trying to get that shut down. She says she finds those views abhorrent. In 1992, she and Angela Merkel were both guests on a talk show in which she repeatedly shouted the others down to promote neuroelectrical stimulation as a cure for drug addiction.
Über Methadonprogramme
Das ist herrlich, dass Sie gleich darüber springen, ob weiche Drogen freigegeben werden.
Ja, das ist doch
Weil
die Konversation.
Sie wollen ja nicht darüber diskutieren, dass diese einzige Therapieform, die wirklich Menschen von ihrer Sucht, darum geht es allerdings, meine liebe Mutter, darum geht es allerdings, dass Süchtigen wirklich geholfen wird, dass sie für immer von Heroin runterkommen. Und das wird ja überhaupt nicht versucht. Ich schreie sie so lange an, wie ich will.
When Merkel chose Du hast den Farbfilm vergessen as one of the songs for her official send-off, Nina Hagen expressed surprise, but not as you might be imagining because she was remembering that talk show incident. Rather, it was the controversy surrounding Kurt Demmler, the man who wrote the lyrics. In 2009, he was on trial for child abuse when he committed suicide. But Hagen also says that she's perfectly happy for people to know the truth and doesn't intend to hide from it, and neither did she want to criticize Merkel. And this is entirely in keeping with her character. Even as the godmother of punk, she continued to perform her old Schlager hit to delighted and possibly slightly confused audiences.
Tu das noch einmal, Micha und ich nicht. Du hast den Farbfilm vergessen, mein Michael.
So why did Angela Merkel choose it? I've seen some interesting theories, but it's actually really very simple. The song was a massive hit in East Germany in 1974. At that time, Angela Merkel was studying physics in the East German city of Leipzig and working part-time as a barmaid in a disco. Quite simply, this song is just a very important part of her youth. Yep, I'm not making this up. Angela Merkel was a barmaid. Well, thank you for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and please keep those comments coming. I do appreciate them, even if I don't respond to all of them. I do try to read as many as I possibly can.